be honest with yourself, okay? And fill it out, and then think about, what do I wanna do? What do I wanna do in the next 30 days financially? What do I wanna do in the next year? What do I wanna do in the next 5 years? And then start setting those goals, okay? So let's talk about credit. A lot of college students are very, very interested in how do I establish a credit history? How can I borrow money? Let me learn more about credit. So the first step in establishing good credit is preparing a realistic budget, right? So that you can live within your means. Open a checking or savings account. Okay. Those of you who have not had one before, if you're receiving financial aid, any of the students have the opportunity through the Bank Mobile site that the college offers to get an account open. Take your checking account, because if you don't, you will lose the ability to open or to have a checking account. Okay. If you have an account and you abuse it, you are continually overdrawn, etc., they will close it and they will report that information to the credit bureau, and other banks will not be so happy to open a checking account for you. But that's part of having a good history, is have a checking or savings account, okay, and manage it appropriately. Evaluate your credit options. All these words here basically say you want to build and maintain a good credit history. So in my years in banking, what did a customer's credit history mean to me? There's a saying that says, what you do screams so loudly I cannot hear what you say. What you do screams so loudly I cannot hear what you say. Your credit report is your reputation. Okay? You can talk all day long to me if I'm making a lending decision to you. You can talk all day long about, I'm going to pay this loan. I'm going to be good and I'm going to pay this loan. I'm going to make the payments on time. And I'm looking at your credit report and you have not made other payments on time. I'm not going to loan you any money. Your credit report is your reputation. It's your financial reputation. And it's very important that you protect it, that you build it, and that you be very careful with it. Okay? Let's talk about what goes into it. Credit card do's and don'ts, sorry, because everybody, that's the thing, everybody's like, how do I get a credit card? How do I get a credit card? How do I get a credit card? All right? Well, let's talk about credit cards. What do you use credit cards for? Anybody got a credit card? Want to talk about what you use it for? Anybody want a credit card? They're awesome. Okay, they're really, really awesome. They're an important financial tool if you use them correctly. Okay. Credit cards give you the ability to a couple of things. They give you the ability to delay payment on something. I can pay it now. I can purchase it now, but I don't have to pay for it until that bill comes in, say 2-3 weeks from now. Credit cards give you the ability to track your finances, your spending. Okay. My husband travels a lot for work, and so we have a separate credit card for him that he uses just for his travel. Okay, because he has to do expense reports at work, and so we can track his travel expenses because that's all that goes on that one credit card. Okay. It gives you the ability to purchase something you might not be able to afford right this minute. Okay. But they also are very, very dangerous if you don't use them correctly. Okay. I use them, I put almost all my purchases on a credit card. All right. But I'm a mature consumer and I have the ability to regulate what I buy, and then I write a check and I pay it off at the end of every month. Not everybody has that discipline. Not everybody has that ability. Okay. What I see so often are people who get credit cards and just run them up because it's this illusion of I can pay for it later. The payment's only $10, even though I run up $3,000 on my credit card. The credit card dues, before charging, is it something you really want, or is it something you need? Okay, and you can always use the, if I really need it, I'll come back tomorrow and get it test. You know, I just need to walk away from it now, and, you know, am I just like, is this something shiny and pretty, something that, you know, is on sale, but do I really need it? Look for low interest rates, rewards, no annual fees. You shouldn't pay an annual fee on a credit card unless that card has a very specific meaning to you. Charge only what you can afford to pay. I would recommend, unless you are just in a true crisis mode, okay, you know, you run over something and all 4 tires on your car are flat, then don't charge what you can't pay off at the end of the month. Always take, if you do, you know, if you do run over something and you've got 4 flat tires, and you have to and you can't pay it off in that month, and you have to go a couple months paying it off, always pay more than the minimum balance, because you will be years paying off that funding. And read and understand the fine print. Don't get more than 1 credit card. Never, ever, ever use a card for cash advance. Never. Just don't do it. The interest rates are higher than you can even imagine. Okay. Do not use a credit card for cash advance. It is just bad business. Okay. Don't use it to pay your monthly expenses. If you're having to put your cell phone bill on your credit card, then you have a budget problem. Okay. And don't go over your credit limit. Credit cards are very notorious for all kinds of hidden fees. If you go over the limit, if you're 1 day late on the payment, if you don't stand on your right foot and hop up and down 3 times, just be very, very careful with credit cards. Your credit report. Understanding your credit report is really, really important, okay? Some of you have got a credit report and you don't even know it. If you've got a student loan, you might have a credit report, okay? If you've got a cell phone plan, you might have a credit report. If you've been renting an apartment, you might have information on the credit report, okay? Once a year, you need to check it at annualcreditreport.com. If for no other reason, you need to check it and make sure that no one's committing fraud using your information. And we're seeing that in the financial aid office more and more and more. Students and parents who've been victims of identity theft. So it's to your advantage at least once a year to go in and check your credit report. You can do 1 per year, and you want to make sure that it's accurate. If you've got credit, you want to make sure that it's being reported appropriately. Your credit score, okay? It's based on the information in your credit report, and it can impact your credit, interest rates, deposits, housing. Did you know that most apartments pull a credit report before you can rent? Cell phone plans, I'm sure most of you know, a lot of them require that you have credit history. Lots and lots of employers now. A lot of employers, before you can be hired, are doing a credit report check. Why? Well, they want to make sure that you are not in financial straits before you come into their place of employment. Okay? Because for a couple reasons. If you're in serious financial trouble, then you're not going to be focused on the job. You're going to be more likely to steal from your employer. There's all kinds of things that go into that. So you want to make sure that you've got a good credit report, because if you've got the good education, you want to be able to use that and get the good job. That's why you're here, right? When you go into annualcreditreport.com, they're going to give you the credit report information, but they're not going to give you the credit score. Okay, we're going to talk about credit scores in just a second. There is a small fee. I haven't done it recently. I think it's $10 or less to get your actual credit score. Okay, but if you're interested in that, you can certainly pay the small fee and then get your credit score. So this part's kind of fun to me. What's a credit score look like? What's a good credit score? You see some of the ads on TV. Credit Karma, I saw last night. They talk about credit scores. So this gives you a range of what lenders consider to be good. So basically, this 585 to 699 is in the average range. You really want to shoot for 700 and above, okay? When you are new, when you're just building your credit report, it's hard to get there, and you just have to be patient, okay? A couple of things, we'll talk about in just a second. Yeah, the best advice I have on your credit report is to be patient. If you've had issues with your credit report in the past, it can be improved a lot, but here again, that takes time. So if you've had credit problems, don't despair, it can get better. So how does it work? Payment history. How frequent and timely you pay your credit card bills, loan installments, and any form of debt. That does affect your credit score. Okay, so that's the biggest chunk of it. 35% of your credit score is how well you've made your payments. And they track whether you've been 10 days late, 30 days late, etc. Okay, so the bottom line is, anything that you owe, you want to make sure that you pay it on time. Set it up on an automatic payment out of your checking account. Do what you have to do. Put reminders in your cell phone. Make your payments on time. It's really, really important. Debt and amount owed. 30% is the amount of money that you owe on each of your financial accounts. That is going to be a combination of how much money you owe, and they also look at, say you've got a $10,000 credit card account. They're going to look at the percent of usage of that account. Do you rock along on that $10,000 credit card account? Do you rock along with a $9,500 balance every month? Okay, that's a red flag to them. Really, you want to use a small portion of it? Okay, and if you get a credit card, use it every now and then pay it off at the end of the month. You want to show activity on it, okay, but you don't want to string along these big balances, because they look at how much debt do you have, how much debt do you have available, and what percentage of it are you using. Credit history length. Okay, so this is the part where we're talking about patience. You can't fix that overnight. My husband has a saying that, you know, nine pregnant women can't make a baby in 1 month. It just takes, some things take time, all right? So you start, and you get that first credit account, and then you build, and you go from there. New credit lines used. Number of new credit lines used or bank accounts which have recently opened. So how hungry are you for credit right now? You know, if you open 5 new credit card accounts, sort of a red flag, like, what's going on? Okay, but also you want to show, like I said, current activity. And then the credit types used. All right, if you buy a new home and you get a mortgage, that's considered a stable kind of credit versus if you've opened up 5 new credit card accounts. So all these different pieces pull in to create your credit score. Okay, so questions, thoughts about credit scores, what you've heard people say, questions you have? Yes?
I heard checking your credit score actually lowers it, which is, I don't understand that.
That's a good question. He said he's heard that checking your credit score lowers it. The thought process behind that is, if you go to annualcreditreport.com, that will not impact your credit. All right. If you go furniture shopping and you hit, 5 different furniture stores and they're all doing a credit check, then yes, every time they do that, it's going to ding your credit score just a little bit. The idea is that you're credit shopping and it's a red flag. So you want to be careful if you're, well, first of all, never buy furniture on credit.
Yeah.
That's a good example in itself. Never, ever, 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 ever buy furniture on credit. If you can't pay for it, furniture-wise, you don't need it. But let's say you're car shopping. Okay. and you go to 5 different car dealerships, and they each run your credit, you know, then yes, it looks like you're trying to grab credit wherever you can get it. The idea is that you go and hunt for your car, you find the one you want, and then you have that one dealership run your credit. And that's gonna be okay, because then you're taking out a new loan, and that's a normal part of the credit process. But it's that credit hopping or credit shopping. So to have someone run your credit one time is not a big deal, but it's that shopping kind of thing that can really ding your credit score.
Good question.
Other questions? You're still wondering about the furniture comment? Anything else you've heard about credit scores, what you can do, what you can't do? Anybody wonder how you start getting credit?
It doesn't, you were saying it doesn't matter how much, I could probably go back and go and just pay it off. Like, I don't even know where to pay it off at.
Do you have a credit card?
No, I have a
Oh, okay.
Macy's card, but I accidentally signed up the other week for a Macy's card.
Okay.
Sent me a credit card and I was like, oh.
Okay, so this is your credit card?
Yeah,
Okay, so you can pay a Macy's card online.
it can't just like draft into your account though, you can't just set it up like that?
Yeah.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
See, I don't know.
Yeah, go online to Macy's.com, set your account up. You can have it, you can have it directly pulled out of your checking account.
Because you were saying like you have to write checks and stuff, like, I don't even have a checkbook or anything, like, they don't give us that anymore, and so, like, small stuff like that, you have to pay out, like, everything that you write a check
Okay, I'm
for.
showing my age when I say write a check, okay? So, I pay my bills online, through online bill pay, and I hate it when I have to write a check. Although I would recommend, banks don't automatically get you checks anymore, I would recommend that you get some checks. There are some times in life where nothing substitutes for writing a check, you know? And if you need to learn how to write a check, come see me. You know, I'll sit down with you and show you how to write a check, how to balance your checking account. But there are some times in life you just need to be able to write a check. So online bill pay is wonderful. It's secure. A lot of people think, oh, it's not as, no, it's very secure because these banks really go to the nth degree to make sure that it is secure. But you set up the payments, yeah. And so if you've got that card, then make a small purchase. And you don't have to do it every month, but every 2 or 3 months, make a $10 or $15 purchase and then pay it off. But make sure you have the payment mechanism set up first so that you don't forget to pay it off. But that will start to build your credit, okay? If you're looking to get credit and you've never had any, a couple of different options. You might have a family member who could co-sign with you on a credit card. Some banks will offer what's called a deposit-based credit card, where you put, say, $500 on deposit with them, and they hold that money as security, and they give you a $500 credit card sort of idea. They've got assurance that if you don't pay, they've got the money to pay it off. Those of you with student loans, you know, when you start making student loan payments, those are going to show towards your credit report. Like I said, a lot of departments will report credit things, you know. So there are ways to get started. It is hard, I understand that and appreciate it, but it's sort of, you know, part of being a person who's financially mature is having a checking account, having credit, and building those things. Any other questions about this?
I have 2 questions. One, I had a checking account with Bank for a while in my other college that I was.
Okay.
But now that I'm with it, I think they give me another, they give me another partner now.
Okay.
I realized that better that money go into another checking account. How
Okay.
can I cancel this Bank Mobile account?
Okay. What you want to do is talk to Bank Mobile, contact them, or if you have any challenges or issues with it, do you know where the cashier's window is in Building 5? Okay. They work with Bank Mobile a lot, and so you can always talk to the cashiers, and they can get with you. I mean, they can help you get with Bank Mobile to get that resolved. Because it sounds like you only just need the one account, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Had the other account been closed out and zeroed down to with zero balance?
No.
Still have money in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, then you wanna talk to them, see about, what you're probably gonna do is close one and move it into the new,
Yeah.
and move it into